been a struggle for me for a long time, and I'm going to start back to when I was in high school when I first realized I was chunky. I'll start back to when I was in high school. I played sports. I played tennis, cheer. One year I tried soccer and track, which I was never like really good at one sport. I just really liked being active, and it was kind of more for fun. I was never like a competitive athlete. I am competitive, don't get me wrong there, but I was never like an athlete. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still had a great time doing cheer, tennis, soccer, and track, but I just never took it very seriously. And so during the seasons, I would obviously be at a very healthy weight. I was always exercising. And during off season, I would continue eating when I was eating, and I would gain weight. And it wasn't until freshman year in high school that I realized like I was getting fluffy, and I was like, oh, my thighs are kind of big, because for me, I carry my weight in my thighs. Now looking back, I see a trend that I would lose weight during summer and then gain weight during winter. And I had this trend up until like last year. I think last year was the first time during winter that I did not gain 5 pounds. And I'm really proud of myself because I have made some changes in order to stop that yo-yo of my weight. So again, back to high school, every girl is kind of like insecure about their weight. They want to be skinny. And I was definitely one of those girls. And I was very mean in high school, and it was because of my insecurities. Those insecurities have stuck with me up until I was dating my husband. And even then, they were still there. And so, yeah, during high school, I was very insecure about my weight. I was really into like dieting and exercising, of course. It was my junior year in high school that I started like going to a gym, to LA Fitness, the same one I go to now. I've been there for 6 years now. But I started, doing cardio, and then I kind of got like some familiar with some of the machines that were easy and safe. I would do like the bench press machine thinking it was for my biceps, which at the time I didn't even know what a bicep was. I thought I was working my arms. And if people asked me like what I was working on, I would say everything. And then if they asked me what set I was on, I would honestly had no idea what they were talking about. Sets and reps came later in my fitness journey. So yeah, in high school, I was just kind of like getting into the gym. And it was really working for me. I did notice like I was getting more toned. And so of course I kept at it. And, after high school, college is a little bit different. And my first year in college, me and my high school boyfriend broke up, and that was like a huge like storm. And when I get depressed and sad, I tend to lose weight. I don't want to eat. I don't have an appetite for food. And so I lost a lot of weight during my first year in college. And it wasn't until that year that I actually took a weightlifting class and realized how much I loved working out. And that's when I decided to become a personal trainer as well. And also that year, I figured I've always loved the medical field. I've wanted to be a doctor, then I wanted to be a nurse, then a doctor again. I wanted to do it all. But I finally decided on nutrition because that's where my heart really was. And at the time, I thought it was called a nutritionist. And I'll put the video link in here explaining the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. But at the time, I thought I was going to be a nutritionist. So yeah, during that first year of college, I figured out what I wanted to do in life. I decided I wanted to become a personal trainer. And also, I got broken up with. And I lost a lot of weight. And I got down to 98 pounds, which is not healthy for me. I should be 105 pounds for my height. I am 5'1". I'm very short. And I will tell you that being short is much harder to maintain weight than being tall. And I'll give you a couple reasons why. Shorter people have to eat less calories. It's just how our bodies are. We're smaller, so we need less calories. So a 5'5", 5'8", 5'10" girl can eat way more calories than I can, even though I could probably eat more than them. But my body does not need that amount of energy. So one, I have to eat less calories, and two, the weight that I do gain is very visible. If I gain 5 pounds, you can tell right away because there's not so much length to like put the fat versus if you're taller, you can just like spread it out over like a longer length, more stature there. So yeah, during that breakup, it was a really big, kind of wake up call in my life. I feel like God was really trying to talk to me to get out of the place I was in and get closer to him. And so that was like a really needed, like bad time in my life. And I did get to 98 pounds. And after that, I was slowly building myself back up from like a foundation. Like I was completely torn down, including like my arrogance and insecurities. I built myself up. I realized that my health is the most important thing, including my mental health. And I got really into guided meditations on YouTube. If you haven't tried those, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have really bad anxiety or can't sleep. So yeah, it was a couple years. I realized I wanted to go to Loma Linda University for my nutrition program. And so that one, semester that I had that storm and was like a really bad time in my life, well, I failed that semester of college. And so from there on out, in order to get to Loma Linda, I needed straight A's. And so I worked my butt off the next couple years to get straight A's. And along with that, I did not let go of my fitness or my nutrition. During that time though, I did try different diets and I was experimenting because that's what I was really into. And I was trying to figure out what is the best diet out there. And so I've tried the blood type diet. I've tried the military diet where you eat like bananas and bread. Not a good one. I've tried a lot of different things. Low carb, carb cycling, and some of them did work. And they did help me lose weight. However, I'm the type of person that wants what I can't have. So as soon as I restrict something, I want it. I crave it all the time. And of course, I give into my cravings and I would binge eat and gain all the weight back. And so I always did diets that restricted something. And that's a big difference than what I do now, which instead of restricting stuff, I just think about adding stuff, such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains. I think about what I can add. And so throughout my day, I'll think, okay, I've eaten this. I have not had any, vitamin C today. And so I'll go grab a cutie or some strawberries. And that's how my mindset kind of works now. And of course, that won't work for everybody because not everybody knows the nutrition facts about, every fruit and vegetable out there. But if you just think about eating a well-balanced diet and think about getting your fruits, getting your vegetables, getting your whole grains, which are the good carbs, and getting enough protein, you will be set. So yeah, I tried a lot of diets. They worked and then they didn't work for a long period of time. And that's why with most of my clients, I don't ever recommend a diet or meal plan. So towards my last year at community college, before I got into Loma Linda, I tried carb cycling, which the one thing I liked about it, it helped me think about protein. And that's when I started to really want to build muscle. And I don't think there's anything wrong with calculating protein. I do that for all of my clients because if you are doing resistance training, you need protein and not an excessive amount, which I also have another video about that. And so I really liked the carb cycling, but it is not long term. Again, you can stick to it for a couple weeks, maybe a few months, but it's not really ideal for like your lifelong diet. So I only stuck with that for a little while. Yeah, so protein became like a really big factor in my life. Anyway, so that's when I really started getting into gaining muscle. And that was also the time that I met my husband. And when I'm in love, I gain weight. It's the opposite of when I'm in a breakup and I'm depressed. I don't want to eat. When I'm in love and I'm happy, I want to eat everything. And so I gained a lot of weight in the first 6 months of dating my boyfriend, which is now my husband. And so before he left for boot camp, I got up to 127 pounds, which is overweight for my height. Remember, I said 105 is an ideal weight. I give myself some grace and say 110, but 127 is 17 pounds overweight even then. And so that was a struggle. And you might be thinking 127, I wish I was 127. But you have to remember my height And also, it's not even about like what I looked like. It was more about how I felt. And if you know what it's like to be overweight, it doesn't feel good. You feel crummy, you feel insecure, and I'm definitely prone to being insecure. You know, like I said in high school, I was a very insecure girl, and the same thing happened here. And it's not good for your relationships to be insecure. And if you are insecure, you should go find some help because it's a real thing and we shouldn't disregard our insecurities. So my husband went off to boot camp and I was able to focus on myself again, and I got really back into working out, eating right, and I got into my program at Loma Linda and I was super excited. My mindset completely changed over the 3 years at Loma Linda. I realized that restriction was not a correct method, and I realized that everything in moderation is okay. Like, we cannot be the food police. And so as a dietitian, I am not the food police. I think every food can fit into someone's diet. I don't even like to use the term diet. I live by that too, and I recommend my clients to live that way as well. So last year was the first Christmas I was able to make it through without gaining weight because I had that new mindset. And for a long time, my set point was 115, and that's a fine weight for me. I mean, I was pretty happy with it. I was always gaining muscle, so I was okay with 115, but over the last year, I was able to bring my weight down to 110, which is my ideal body weight, and maintain it. And so I'm really happy to say that I'm 13% body fat, 108 pounds right now, and I feel great. It's not about looking good, even though, like, deep down inside, I think like that too. Like, I am all about, like, gotta look good, gotta lose the fat, like, here, gotta lose a little bit more weight. I could just lose 2 more pounds and I'll be, like, perfect. But I'll tell you, when you get there, it's not that case. You keep wanting more. You always want to lose another pound. And so I learned to embrace that I'm healthy. Like, no matter what weight I'm at, whether it's 108 or 115, I'm healthy and I have a strong heart and I can lift a lot of weight. If you are working hard and you're eating right and you're exercising, you are in a good condition. You're doing it for the long haul. You're not doing it to look good. You're doing it to be healthy. I think every healthcare professional could agree with me that we want these people who are overweight and not eating right and are on their way to diabetes or cardiovascular disease to invest their money now into a personal trainer or a registered dietitian or some kind of program, because it's going to cost a lot less if you invest now than if you pay all of your medical bills later. I just want to close with something that really changed my life and how I look at my body. And it was a quote by Lisa Bevere. She talked at my church for a women's gathering, and she said to the younger women in the room, and she said, if you are not happy with your weight right now, I want you to be happy with it, because in 20 years, you're going to wish you were that weight. You're going to wish you looked like you did 20 years ago. And that is so true. I mean, how many of us already think about, oh man, I wish I currently had the body that I had in high school, or I wish I had the body I had 2 years ago. How many of us think like that? I would say the majority. So we need to enjoy our bodies now for what it is, because it's only going to get worse. Just kidding. For some of us, it'll get better because we're changing our bodies now. But in 20 years, our bodies are going to be completely different. Really love your body now. And that has been difficult for me as well. It takes time to teach yourself to love yourself. And you are you. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. And that has also been something that I have struggled with a lot. I always compared myself to other people, especially taller girls. I'm never going to look like that. And so I don't even know why I wasted time. But stop comparing yourself to people, and then also love yourself, because you're you. You're so unique. God created you to be you, and He has a plan just for you. And so keep that in mind with you for the rest of your life. I mean, set a reminder on your phone if you have to. Write it on your mirrors. I got really into writing like positive affirmations on my mirrors back in the day. So I would like write my test scores that I wanted like on my mirror. And you could write things like I'm beautiful or like I'm healthy. Write those down. Like, it seriously works. Like, people people think I'm crazy, but it really works. So write it all over your room, write sticky notes, stick them everywhere. I stick them on my laptop. I stick them in my car sometimes. I have my clients do that too. So do it, and you will be so grateful that you did. So my journey hasn't ended. It continues to go on, and it's gonna go on for the rest of my life, just as it should for you. But that shouldn't be discouraging. That should be encouraging, because you have your whole life to work on yourself and to work on the body that God gave you. I hope this was motivating for you. I really appreciate you guys listening to my story, because I have been kind of like unsure about sharing it with you all, because I am being vulnerable right now, telling you my whole life story. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.